Agnivesh Agarwal, the son of Vedanta Group chairman and mining billionaire Anil Agarwal, has died at the age of 49. He passed away in the United States after suffering a sudden cardiac arrest, just days after his family believed he was safely recovering from injuries sustained in a skiing accident. The confirmation of his death on January 8, 2026, turned hope into heartbreak and sent shockwaves through India's business world, where his name was increasingly associated with the future of one of the country's largest industrial groups. The news did not emerge through a corporate announcement or an official business statement. Instead, it came directly from a grieving father. In a deeply emotional post, Anil Agarwal described the loss as the darkest day of his life. His words revealed disbelief, pain, and devastation, emotions that resonated far beyond the business community. The message was simple, raw, and powerful. His son, he said, was healthy, full of life and dreams, and then, without warning, he was gone. What makes Agnivesh Agarwal's death particularly unsettling is the timing. He was not in critical condition when he died. According to the family, he had been injured in a skiing accident in the US and was receiving treatment at Mount Sinai Hospital in New York. Doctors were reportedly optimistic. Recovery appeared to be on track. The sense within the family was that the worst phase had passed. That belief now stands in painful contrast to what followed. A sudden cardiac arrest ended his life while he was still under medical care. The unexpected nature of the event has left many struggling to understand how a man who was reportedly improving could be taken so abruptly. The absence of warning has added to the shock, making the loss feel even more unreal to those closest to him. Agnivesh Agarwal was far more than the son of one of India's most prominent industrialists. While his surname inevitably linked him to the Vedanta Group, he had been steadily building his own role within the organization. He served on the board of Talwandi Sabo Power Limited, a Vedanta Group firm, and was involved in key discussions related to the company's operations and long-term direction. Within corporate circles, his presence on the board was seen as a sign of continuity and generational transition. Vedanta, built by Anil Agarwal from modest beginnings into a global mining and metals powerhouse, has long been associated with family leadership. Agnivesh was considered an important part of that structure, someone expected to carry forward elements of the group's vision in the years to come. Unlike some high-profile business heirs, Agnivesh did not actively seek public attention. He maintained a relatively low profile, focusing on internal responsibilities rather than media presence. Those who interacted with him described him as measured, thoughtful, and serious about his work. He was not known for flamboyance or controversy, but for quiet involvement and steady participation. That restraint now adds another layer to the tragedy. His life was not defined by excess or recklessness, yet it ended suddenly in circumstances no one anticipated. At 49, he was at a stage where experience and ambition often converge. He had responsibilities, plans, and a future that seemed firmly in place. The skiing accident that preceded his death initially raised concern but did not appear life-threatening in the long term. Injuries sustained during such accidents can vary widely, and while serious, recovery is often possible with proper care. In Agnivesh's case, updates suggested progress. Family members believed he was responding well to treatment. This belief made the cardiac arrest all the more devastating. It arrived without public warning, overturning optimism in a single moment. For many observers, this sequence has underscored how unpredictable health crises can be, even under medical supervision. Anil Agarwal's response to the loss has drawn widespread attention. Known publicly as a determined entrepreneur who built Vedanta into a multinational enterprise, he is rarely associated with vulnerability. His message, however, stripped away that image and revealed a father in mourning. The simplicity of his words reflected a pain that transcends status, wealth, and achievement. The statement also highlighted Agnivesh's personal qualities. He was described as full of life and dreams, a phrase that suggests aspirations still unfolding. Those words have echoed across social media and business commentary, reinforcing the sense that his life ended before its full potential could be realized. The Agarwal family has long been closely involved in the leadership of Vedanta. Anil Agarwal's daughter, Priya Agarwal, also plays a significant role within the group. She serves on the board of Vedanta and is the chairperson of Hindustan Zinc Limited. Together, the siblings were viewed as central figures in the family's corporate future. With Agnivesh's death, that future has been irrevocably altered. While businesses can restructure and boards can adapt, the loss of a family member is permanent. Within Vedanta, his absence is not only a professional gap but an emotional one. Colleagues who worked alongside him are now reflecting on his contributions and the void left behind. Condolences have poured in from across India's business and political landscape. Industry leaders, associates, and public figures have expressed shock and sorrow, emphasizing the suddenness of the loss. Many have noted how cruelly timed it was, arriving just as recovery seemed within reach. Beyond individual tributes, the incident has prompted broader reflection. It has reminded people that no level of success or access to medical care guarantees safety. Life, even when it appears stable, can change in an instant. That realization has given this story a resonance that extends beyond corporate news. Medical experts often point out that serious injuries can place significant stress on the body, even during recovery. Trauma, surgery, and prolonged hospitalization can sometimes contribute to unexpected complications. While no additional medical details have been disclosed in Agnivesh's case, the sequence of events has led many to reflect on how fragile recovery can be. For Vedanta as a company, the loss comes at a time of ongoing transformation and ambition. The group continues to navigate global markets, regulatory pressures, and strategic expansion. Agnivesh Agarwal was part of the internal leadership framework supporting these efforts. His death removes a voice that was expected to grow in influence over time. However, focusing solely on corporate impact risks missing the human story at the center of this tragedy. This is not only about a board member or an industrial heir. It is about a son whose father believed he was healing, a family that was preparing for his return, and a life that ended before those hopes could be realized. The family has not yet shared details regarding funeral arrangements or memorial services. That silence suggests a desire for privacy during an intensely painful period. Public attention, though inevitable, cannot capture the depth of personal loss being experienced behind closed doors. Agnivesh Agarwal's death has also raised questions about how society views individuals associated with wealth and power. Headlines often focus on status, but moments like these reveal shared vulnerability. Grief does not discriminate. Loss arrives without regard for influence or resources. As people continue to process the news, the story remains unsettling. A man survives an accident. Recovery begins. Optimism grows. Then, without warning, life ends. Each stage builds expectation only to dismantle it abruptly. That sequence has made this tragedy especially difficult to accept. In remembering Agnivesh Agarwal, those who knew him emphasize his commitment, his quiet approach, and his sense of responsibility. He stood at the intersection of legacy and individuality, carrying the weight of a powerful surname while forging his own path within it. His passing at 49 leaves behind unanswered questions, unfulfilled plans, and a deep sense of loss. It also leaves a reminder that certainty is fragile and that even moments of relief can be temporary. As the business world pauses to acknowledge this tragedy, the human reality remains at its core. A father grieving openly, a family mourning privately, a future suddenly changed, and a life that ended far too soon, leaving behind silence where promise once stood.